Hello, this guide aims to clear up two things about Christmas Oguri. Number one, why Christmas Oguri is still in a weak state before we enter Make a New Track. And number two, how Christmas Oguri probably shouldn't be using 777 as her trigger in the Arimakinen Champions meeting. Christmas Oguri just dropped, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are very excited to play Christmas Oguri. After all, she's like the shiny new toy that a lot of content creators have been hyping up for a very long time. However, Christmas Oguri Cap is not in her peak yet. She is not in the strongest state, and in the Unity Cup, she has a lot of weaknesses that are still not solved yet. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to force her, which is why I decided to make this video to hopefully lead people back to building a normal ace before trying to force Christmas Oguri to work. Allow me to explain my first point on how Christmas Oguri is still weak. In the Unity Cup scenario, we still have a limited amount of skill points and stat line. Our stat line is still not that easy to hit, and maxing speed and wit for the majority of the players in every single run is quite difficult. It's not really that consistent for the majority of you, right? Since Christmas Oguri requires you to proc 3 recovery skills to activate, you're often overspending skill points on recovery skills when you otherwise could have just not spent those 300, 450-ish skill points. And this is also leading to Christmas Oguri having a very skill point hungry kit and people just not building a functional kit out of Christmas Oguri. Sure, you can say that, oh, if I hit my unique skill right before the late game, then I'm just Thanos, right? I got an insane speed carryover into the late game, and acceleration as well. But like, right now, it's still not consistent, and with the very wonky wit stat that you guys are gaining in your career runs, barring the whales, it's still really not consistent for the majority of the players, and I am making this video to tell people to move on from Christmas Oguri for now. In Make a New Track, this gets a little bit better because our stat line is pretty much like super easy to reach. Make a New Track has virtually no stat pressure. Like, I can say this from like an experienced player perspective, but Make a New Track, it's just like if you imagine a stat line, you'll probably hit the stat line. There's no stat pressure every single run. There's only, oh, can I hit higher than this? Or can I hit a tiny bit higher? But overall, in every single CM, the stat difference is not that high and you don't really have to worry about the stat line too much. Which brings us to how Christmas Oguri in Make a New Track is still not her strongest form, because in Make a New Track, stamina is super easy to get. One of Christmas Oguri's strength is how she can whale stamina stats super hard. If you put Christmas Oguri on a track where you can effectively use her recovery skills and also the recovery from her unique skill before entering the late game, you can maximize the value on her kit, her 3 recoveries, and also her unique skill, and the loss on skill point with the recovery skill buys is not going to be that high. However, on Make a New Track, since we stamina whale super hard anyways, everybody's hitting the stat lines, and so this lead is not as high as you think. Christmas Oguri's final form, truly strongest state, is in the Grand Life scenario. Sure, in the, Make a New Track scenario, in the latter few CMs, she does pop off sometimes, but she's still relatively equal in strength. Or maybe just a tiny bit stronger than the average Uma. For example, like in S tier or something, but there's like 2-3 other Umas in the S tier. In Grand Live, she is actually Thanos. Then that's a matter that we'll deal with in the future, right? That's at least 6 months later. For now, the current state of Christmas Oguri is still in baby form. You just need to treat Christmas Oguri as a baby, and you need to feed her literally everything in your card, in your deck, in your account to make her work. Yes, she's very skill point hungry, she's very, very wit hungry. You need to max wit, you need to get like 2,100 skill points. It's really, really harsh on most of the players, and you probably shouldn't be playing her. That is going to be my first point. I hope you guys can move on from the Christmas Oguri craze first. I hope it was clear. Now on to my second point, which is which proc you should be using for the Arimakinen. On the Arimakinen, there has been guides out there which is telling people to use Christmas Oguri, use 777 as her unique skill proc. This is really bad and just not resourceful in any means, and I'll explain in just a second here. So right now I'm using 777 as a proc. There is no wit check, so I'm just proccing the skills on the Umulator. You can see here that my 777 proc is right here, right? It's past the late game into the final leg in this purple-pink portion of the race. If we proc 777 and also Festive Miracle after the final leg, after we enter the late game, that means we are effectively just losing. Let's count together, shall we? This is 3.5% recovery and also another 1.5% recovery. 5% recovery lost on the spot immediately just for free. You're throwing 300 skill point worth of recovery skills out the window just for a delayed 0.3 acceleration proc into a tiny bit more target speed. It's really grief. Ideally, on Arimakinen, you want to proc your unique skill off of a random straight, or you just want to proc it randomly. So it's going to be something like this. Ideally, you proc it like this, and then you just proc it in the middle game. That's okay. If it procs a little bit better, we get Thanos speed carryover into the late game. If it doesn't proc in a good position, we get a very strong middle game skill. So that's the idea for Christmas Oguri. And for Arimakinen, I'll make the CM8 guide. I'm still working on it, like expect it in 2 more days-ish. You guys just need to play your Oshi, farm the sparks for Oshi. If it's groundwork, it's go farm groundwork. If it's Umastan, go farm Umastan. It's really that simple. The stat lines, strategies, and stuff will come later on. But for now, seriously, you either play this version of Christmas Oguri, where you go for gambling straights and corner skills. So one of the examples is going to be 3 random skills. For example, this is like Hydrate, Pure Heart, Hydrate, and also let's go Ignite Spirit Stamina. Yeah. This is going to be the statistically best version of Christmas Oguri, and you can hit the most speed carryovers off of this. We did the math. You can go refer to it in CM Strat in our Discord. You can check the pins of CM Strat and you'll be able to find our chart. Thank you, Zero, and also credit to Sajin Lijian, Science University, for the chart. And we also just revised it and made it into the English version in the CM Strat. So yeah, this is going to be the Christmas Oguri video. Sorry if I sound really quick in this video, but yeah, just treat this as like your lunchtime podcast or something. I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. This is Charles Victor Frontier. I'll see you guys in the CM8 guide.